taking a look at piano progression 09-25-2024. It's in the key of E flat, so B's, E's, and A's are flatted, and it's in 4/4 time. Theoretically, it could be described as a bass and soprano diatonic walk down against a tenor and alto middle pedal octave. That sounds more complicated than it actually is, and we're going to unpack that theory as we go through this progression. Let's get started. Middle C is here on my piano. We're going to start with an octave of E flats in figure 1 of bar 1 in the right hand. That's going to be thumb and 5 for those E flat octaves. In the left hand of figure 1, we're going to play C below middle C and the E flat above it. And so that's going to be C, E flat, and E flat from left hand up to right hand. So if we think of these as being voices or voicings, this would be the bass voice, this would be the tenor voice, the alto voice, and the soprano voice. And just like in a choir, each is going to play a role in walking through this progression. This is not the octave we're talking about as a middle pedal octave. It's this one right here, this E flat in the tenor and this E flat in the alto. It is a tenor and alto middle pedal, so it's in the middle, and it's going to pedal. It's going to, for the most part in this progression, it's going to stay static. It's not going to move. And the bass and the soprano, the bass being the lowest and the soprano being the highest, are going to move around it like that. So they're going to remain pedaled in the tenor and alto in this octave that they're producing. The bass and soprano are going to move diatonically, scale-wise, down against it. So that's going to be the scale of E flat. That's going to move down in the soprano, and in the bass, it's going to be a partial scale from C down to E flat. So, figure 1, C, E flat, and E flat. Figure 2 of bar 1 is going to be B flat and E flat and D. So we have the same finger selection. We have 4 and 2 and 1 and 5, B flat, E flat, and D. And that's the bass moving and the soprano moving with the tenor and alto remaining static. In the first figure of bar 2, we have A flat and E flat with E flat and C. In the second figure of bar 2, we have G and E flat with E flat and B flat. In the first figure of bar 3, we have F and E flat and E flat and A flat in the right hand. In the second half of in the second half of bar 3, in the second figure, we end up with the same kind of movement with E flat and G in the right hand, but the left hand is going to change, and it's going to play a 1/5 octave, and then come up to the third, which is G. So E flat being the 1, the first note of an E flat scale, the B flat being the 5th note of that E flat scale, the E flat being the octave of that E flat scale, and G being the 3rd above that. So we're going to play and walk through this. There's a bunch of different crossings we could do here, but I find that I just hop my thumb up because it's not that fast a progression. In bar 4, in the right hand, we're going to leave the pattern we've been playing, and we're going to just play an E flat here by itself, and we're going to play in the left hand D flat, A flat, D flat, drop down to the C, and then hop down to the F. In bar 5, we're going to play that same figure, but there's a retardando, so it's going to slow down like that. This D flat is actually the flatted 7. If we remember when we were playing the E flat scale, D was natural as we walked our way down through the scale. So what happens is, with this D flat scale, instead of playing the D here, we're going to play a D flat. It's the flatted 7th note, and the chord is based on that flatted 7. So lots of theory being learned as we walk through this progression. Let's play the progression. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And piano progression 09, 25, 20, 24.